And I know most every face here, and I've had experiences working with many of you over a long period of time. So I'm particularly appreciative that even though it caused a bit of a rift that I wasn't aware would happen, I'm glad to have the voice and the time to speak. Tax Day, the day that people come to realize that the government is coercing them through threat of force, through threat of removal of your property and the very wherewithal for your lifestyle. People go and submit their taxes on this day. Traditionally, this day is the day that people who have chosen, people who are compelled not to pay for war, have spoken out and come together. So I appreciate the opportunity, and I've typed up some remarks so that I won't wander too far afield. So bear with me. This is from Julia Butterfly Hill. How many remember who she is?
Tree sitter.
Julia says the greatest changes in history have only come when people are willing to put everything on the line. Julia did. And back when she won a court settlement for someone using her name illegally, I'd love my umbrella over my head. Julia took direct action. Julia said the IRS claimed she owed them $150,000 for a settlement she got. Instead of aiding and abetting war, Julia Butterfly Hill redirected all of this money to education, arts and cultural programs, community gardens, programs for Native Americans, alternatives to prisons and jails, and environmental protection. Direct action. I ask you, when wars are illegal, isn't paying taxes for war a war crime? I have refused to pay for war since 1981. That's the year I took the pledge. That's when I decided to break the deadly habit of paying for war. It's not just our federal taxes that fuel war, but our lifestyle of waste and habitual consumption. This privilege we maintain on the backs of the destitute of the world is upheld by the Pentagon and its deadly force. I'm one of thousands of people around this country who openly identify themselves as war tax resistors. Some file and refuse to pay. Some refuse to file or cooperate in any way. Some refuse a portion of their federal taxes. Some refuse to pay any at all. But most war tax refusers are also peace taxpayers. They redirect this refused money to fund community needs. More direct action in local alternative funds throughout the United States that each year deliver more than $50,000 to support constructive projects. As we gather here today to call out Bank of America to demand that they stop participating in this business of death, funding the mountaintop removal, coal mining enterprises, facilitating the buildup and modernization of nuclear weapons, and loaning millions and billions to Eric Prince and his criminal enterprise of Blackwater, the largest military mercenary operation in the world. As we say to Bank of America and its shareholders, stop. Are we willing to risk our own economic privilege to obstruct this business of death? Who will block the doors to the post office today, when most Americans will voluntarily submit taxes on the demand of the IRS, the taxes that fuel the Pentagon? When war is illegal, I ask you, isn't paying for war a war crime? Whatever the risk to property or privilege, career or liberty, we must stop. We must stop supporting this system of destruction, not merely because it's immoral or unjust, but because it is illegal according to international law. The Pentagon and the media are aligned in their efforts to hide the costs. The maimed soldiers, the battlefield carnage, the grieving widows, the broken souls, the poisoned earth, funded with nearly 1/2 of every tax dollar you obediently submit. The mandate of the Nuremberg War Crime Tribunal of 1950 is clear. Individuals have international duties which transcend the national obligations of obedience. Therefore, citizens have the duty to refuse prevent crimes against peace and humanity from occurring.
Yes.
We cannot say we did not know. We who refuse to cooperate with the Internal Revenue Service in its coercive efforts to collect funds to wage illegal wars are in fact upholding international law and treaties that compel us to refuse to cooperate with war crimes. Each citizen has a responsibility to ensure their own personal conduct does not breach international law. According to the International Criminal Court, a person is criminally liable who aids, abets, or assists in the commission of such a crime, including providing the means for its commission. When war is illegal, I ask you, is it paying tax a war crime? Governments cannot wage war without the money to buy weapons, pay troops, or purchase supplies. Without the support of we taxpayers and money lenders, war would be impossible. Look around. The crime scene is everywhere. Let's just talk about what we have within a few hundred miles. Weapons of mass and indiscriminate destruction. Weapons that violate all the rules of war, proportionality, discrimination, and all the many criteria for just weapons. In Jonesboro, Tennessee, the weaponized uranium and the bullets made there poison and kill and deform generation after generation after generation. In Irwin, Tennessee, the nuclear fuel services for Trident nuclear submarines is manufactured. The river there, what is the river? The Nolichucky River there is poisoned with uranium. The people there are dying in clusters of cancer. We can't say we didn't know. And the fuel that is provided there fuels the Trident nuclear submarine, which is the first strike nuclear weapon that violates all reasonable ideas of what a weapon should be. That is actually a war crime. Then we have Oak Ridge and the Y-12 nuclear bomb factory, where we're preparing to refurbish nuclear weapons for generations to come with billions and billions of your tax dollars. When war is illegal, I ask you, is it paying your taxes a war crime? The U.S. is the #1 military spender and arms exporter in the world. War crimes include crimes against peace, such as the planning, preparation, or initiation of a war of aggression. All of our wars of the last decades have been wars of aggression, probably as long as we can remember. Crimes against humanity, such as the crimes against civilians and soldiers, violate the rules as to the means and manner by which war is to be conducted once it has begun. These include the following prohibitions: killing of civilians, indiscriminate bombing, the use of certain types of weapons, killing of defenseless soldiers, ill treatment of POWs, and attacks on non-military targets. Have we not done all of this over and over and over again? Any violation of these two sets of laws is a war crime. When done on purpose, as the United States has done, they're grave breaches. The Nazis and the Japanese following World War II were hanged for such grave breaches. I ask you, when wars are illegal, isn't paying your war taxes also a war crime? Those countries and individuals who violate the fundamental laws that protect the peace and limit war are criminals. The United States and its leaders have committed international crimes. As global citizens under international law, we are complicit in these crimes against humanity, these war crimes. When wars are illegal, paying for wars is a war crime. How long, I ask, will it take those of us who know the futility of the Pentagon's war, how they rob us of our brightest and our best, how they kill and rape and maim, tear apart families, lay desolate the land, leave orphans and widows and broken and discarded veterans wandering our streets, filling our jails, and bringing the war back home? How long, I ask? How long, war taxpayers, will you persist in this deadly submission?
All right. Yay.